Fiesta de Amor.
30,000 people? Come on, you can make it.
So they have a huge festival celebrating the Chicha de Amor.
I'm all ears.
He plans on rowing with a hoe.
Yeah, I'll lie to her and I'll buy her something and she won't know.
I've had it up to here. Herman says it has body.
We're going now.
Hello world, I've been waiting for a chance to see your face. Oh, hello world, I am ready for a different kind of place. And I'm flying to somewhere else, 'cause I'm searching for something else. And I'm leaving, I don't know where I'm gonna land. Oh no, yes, I'm leaving, I don't know where I'm gonna land.
Alvarez.
I'm Robin Kipp.
And I'm Pierce Bunting. We're in the Andean highlands of Otavalo, Ecuador, just 2 hours north of the equator. In this valley, we're surrounded by volcanoes. And in this rich soil, the Quechua Indians have been growing corn for thousands of years.
In fact, they just had another successful harvest, which is cause for a huge celebration. It's called the Fiesta de Amor, and it's a time when all come together to enjoy the food and drink supplied by this year's crop.
But it's not all about corn. People from Otavalo come together to share songs, dances, and crafts. Some even tempt fate in a wild and unusual custom. We're off to the Fiesta de Amor. Welcome to travelers.
Otavalo's annual celebration of Chicha de Amor takes place in late August, when the 5 types of corn needed to make this fermented drink are available. The Quechua Indians of Ecuador's high Andes drink the chicha to toast a fruitful corn harvest and for a successful planting season. This colorful event attracts people from thousands of miles away, and when the festival goers arrive in Ecuador, they all agree it's one of the most beautiful countries in the world.
We arrived in Quito, the capital city of Ecuador, after flying all night long. When they opened the door of the airplane in Ecuador, this cold, fresh wind hit me right in the face, and it was a little disorienting. It was freezing. I wasn't ready for it.
And I thought, wow, it's breathtaking here.
When we first arrived in Ecuador, I just looked up and there were these mountains everywhere. We're in the Andes and we're on the equator, no less. I mean, these things are just jetting up into the sky. It's absolutely beautiful, and they're green and lush, and they've got farms on them, and they've got farm plots. You can see them go as high as they can on these steep inclines, and then they stop where like a new kind of greenery grows, and it just goes right up into the mountains. And some are snow-capped and some aren't, but it's absolutely beautiful here.
In the morning, the mist is covering the mountain and it's not that clear. Sometimes there are clouds that cover the top of the mountain, or it cover the middle of the mountain, and you could see the top of the mountain peeking out.
There's a stillness in the air here. Even when things are noisy and crazy, there's a stillness up in these mountains, and I felt that as soon as I got off the airplane. It was just tranquilo.
The festival lasts 9 days, but it starts off with a bang. Every building in Otavalo is empty on the opening night of the festival, when thousands crowd the town's Plaza Principal for the Procession de Amor. The parade is a sight to behold. But Pierce and Robin found out a good view comes only with perseverance and a little luck.
How are we going to get through here?
I don't know.
This is the most important festival for the Quechuan people because it celebrates corn and the corn harvest. And so everyone comes out to see this.
I see some floats over people's heads. Robin and I were trying to work our way into the crowd, and it was so completely jammed that we couldn't get anywhere close to the streets. And as we're fighting our way through, we come across this guy. Robin starts speaking to him in Spanish. His name is Nelson. Turns out he speaks English. He finds out that we speak English, and we start having a conversation with him.
Hi, I'm from New York. My name is Robin.
I'm Nelson. I'm from Otavalo, yeah.
Oh, mucho gusto.
Yeah.
Es mi amigo.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Nelson. Very good.
And he, like us, was trying to worm his way through the crowd to see the parade go by. How do we get to see the parade from here?
There's too many
Well,
people.
it's very crowded, but we can push the people a little bit and get a little bit up front.
Okay.
We can try.
All right.
Okay, let's go.
And the three of us tried to get through, but it was just impossible, even as we got to the front where we could see the floats go by.
Somebody's tickling my stomach. Hey, Nelson, are there any roofs or any place above this that we can take a look at?
Yeah, there is a place up here. We have to walk a little about a half block.
Oh, really?
And we can get on the second floor and see if we can, you can take a picture from there.
Find our way through the crowd.
Okay, let's try.
All right.
Okay.
There were little kids next to me whose faces were pressed up against my hips, and I'd look down and they'd be going, hola! and my feet were literally lifted off the ground at one point. I was... And it was only through divine providence, I think, that we eventually, the Red Seas parted, and we got close to the sidewalk and landed out on the street and could breathe again.
Ah, it's
better.
Come on, you can make it.
What we did, and it took a while to get there, but when we finally got out on the street, it got a little bit easier.
Woo!
I'm a lot fitter than I was when I started.
No. Now, where are we going?
To the second floor, is out there.
Over there?
Yeah.
How?
How did we get through?
Okay, let's go there first.
And sure enough, we went up into this office, and there was all of Nelson's family, his brother-in-law, his sisters, nieces, nephews, all jammed out on that balcony, and they squeezed aside a little bit and gave us some room so we could come out and see what was going on. I was able to see just how packed the streets were from up there.
30,000 people?
Yeah.
So harvest time has got to be important to them, because not only are they celebrating a good harvest, but they're about to plant another one, another crop.
Now, what are all those dances about? I saw a lot of people in really beautiful costumes.
Yeah, it's a folkloric dance.
Corn dance?
Folkloric dance?
Yeah, folkloric dance from each city, from each little town. They have the different dancing.
And what does the dancing mean?
They just happy about the harvest of the corn.
Happy about the harvest of the corn.
Harvest of the corn.
It pays tribute to the corn.
That's what it is.
So all of these floats that we're seeing are from different places other than Otavalo?
That's right. We invited to the different cities around Otavalo
That are
to
all
participate.
nearby?
Yeah,
Are there cities from all over Ecuador here?
that's true.
Hey, it smells beautiful.
Ecuadorian rose.
So Ecuador's famous for its roses?
Yeah, one of the best flowers that you find in Ecuador.
I guess the climate's perfect for them. They can grow them all year long, right?
And not only the climate, but over here we have more daylight than any other country in the world.
And I said, Nelson, this is absolutely chaos. I mean, people are even in the trees trying to see the floats go by. He said, you think this is chaos? Wait till the Toros Populares, which happens in like just a couple days from now. That is chaos.
But you should see the bullfight that we'll have in a couple of days. People get drunk and they get to the bullfight.
It's crazier than this?
It is, yeah.
Oh, we gotta go to that.
The whole 2 weeks are very crazy.
Will we see you there then?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, excellent.
Here in Ecuador, they're people of the corn. They live their life around the cycle of the corn. Chicha de Amor is so special that they call it the elixir of the Incas. I thought I wanted to learn to make this stuff. I want to taste this stuff. While Pierce and Robin were in downtown Otavalo watching the festival open, I went out to the country with our guide Elena and her cousin Germán to learn more about the Quichua people and why they were celebrating the corn.
Sobre todo somos quichuas. Tú sabrás que los quichuas es un pueblo muy grande, que estamos en Bolivia, en Perú, en Ecuador, en el sector andino.
He mentioned that the Quichua people are not only in Ecuador. They're also in southern Colombia, they're in Peru, and they're in Bolivia. The different groups depend on different crops for their life. The people in Bolivia, for example, are people of the potato. Here in Ecuador, they're people of the corn.
Nosotros somos hombres del maíz, dependemos mucho del maíz porque es un alimento básico para nosotros.
Corn is basically the main staple in their diet. They make 200 dishes from corn. They also feed their animals with the corn. Every bit of the corn is used. Nothing goes to waste. They live their life around the cycle of the corn. From planting to the harvest, their life revolves around the corn. Right now, they just finished the harvest, and they're getting ready to plant again. This also happens to be the time of year where 5 types of corn that are needed to make yamor are available. So they have a huge festival celebrating the chicha de yamor.
Una chicha muy especial que es una bebida.
Germán said that chicha de yamor is so special that they call it the elixir of the Incas.
Bebida del yamor, ¿no? Que es muy medicinal también.
After I heard Germán and Elena talk about chicha, I thought I wanted to learn to make this stuff. I want to taste this stuff. So they invited me to their house, and they invited me to make chicha. They offered to teach me to make this, and I accepted, of course. The elixir of the Incas. Yeah, I want that.
Barbara wanted to make chicha, which is one of the staples of the whole Festival de Amor. And Pierce and I went out to the farms to find corn so that she could ground it and toast it and make it into chicha. And Elena took us to this home of Rafael and Maria Juana. She was dressed in this traditional outfit. I think that's what makes it really special, is when we go out to the farms, these people are dressed like this, regardless if tourists are there. How many kinds of corn are there?
5, but I think we have 4, 5, yeah. This is yellow corn. This is chulpe.
This?
Yeah. This is morocho. This is white corn, and this is maíz blanco. Jora.
Jora. So you need 5 kinds of corn to make chicha.
5 corn.
You're not speaking Spanish, huh?
No.
What are you speaking?
Quichua.
Quichua, it's the native dialect.
Yes.
I only speak a little Spanish and English, so it was difficult finding out what she was talking about. But this woman is a farmer, and all she farms is corn. We take all of this?
Yes.
Oh, terrific.
All right.
Should we keep them together, corn families together?
Hey, even if she can't make good chicha, this is going to look great when we give it to her.
Doesn't it look pretty?
Yeah. Here, I'll put the extras in my pocket.
Okay.
Later on in the afternoon, we arrived at our hotel. Hey, Barbara! Barbara, come here. We got something for you.
What do we got? We got corn for your chicha.
Oh my God, where did you guys get all of that?
We went out to this farm and met this
All
couple.
5 types you're going to need to make chicha.
Awesome.
See, there's all this, and then there's a bunch of picked already on the bottom. And I'm all ears. I got some more for you. She took her corn back to her room, and I haven't seen any chicha yet, but she's somewhere up in the hills making it, I think, right now.
When we got to Elena's father's house, Mama Avelina, her grandmother, was out in the front yard preparing the firewood. So chicha is basically a drink that you have when you celebrate.
Yes.
I see. So I'm still not clear on whether you can have chicha all year round or just at this time of year.
Well, many times of the year, but this is a special time because we have to give to the people who is going to help to plant the new corn.
I see. Then Elena brought out a mat, and Vicky, Elena's daughter, she's about 14, Elena and I sat around a basket and pulled the kernels of the corn off of the corn husks. Mama Avelina toasted the corn in a big, like, pan, black pan.
What comes next?
To grind.
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 As different batches were toasted, she'd hand it over to us, and we would put it through a hand grinder and grind it. This is the ground up corn, and we are putting it all, or the cornmeal, and we're putting it in this big container. When all of the corn was ground, we put a big cauldron on the fire and filled it with water. Then put the cornmeal into the water and mixed it up. Remember all the corn that Pierce and Robin brought for me? There it is.
So she's going to cook just one time, but for 6 hours.
6 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Right before I left, I found out that Mama Avelina was going to stand there and stir this mixture for 6 hours. Then strain it into a barrel and let it ferment for a day before the chicha would be ready. I mean, how long will this chicha last now for you and for your family?
Just one day. Because if we have a feast, we have to bring to everybody.
Oh.
And we have a lot of families, so...
Okay, so we've husked the corn, we ground it, we put it in this pot with water. Now we're waiting for it to boil.
Yeah.
It'll boil for 6 hours.
Uh-huh.
So when will the chicha be ready? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, for sure tomorrow.
Okay, then I'll be back tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For showing me how to do this. I don't know, then maybe I'll take it to a party or something.
What, are you going to abandon me here?
I am.
In the Spanish-speaking market?
Hey, with 30,000 you can buy so much stuff.
I was a little worried about that because Barbara speaks Spanish so beautifully, and I don't.
How does a person make a decision?
Barbara and I heard that during the fiesta, there is this extraordinary market that happens. It actually happens every week, but it's even more glorious during the fiesta.
And I don't know how it happened, but we came up with this scheme or this idea that we were going to have this little competition between the two of us. Hey, what do you say we split up and see what we can each find on our own?
What, are you going to abandon me here?
I am.
In the Spanish-speaking market?
Hey!
All right. No, I'll do it.
How much money do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 80,000 sucres. Is that, what do you have?
I have a little bit more, but I'll just use 80,000.
Okay, so that's about 25 American. Each one of these 10,000 is equal to about $3.
Okay.
All right, so we got 25 bucks.
And we'll split up and see who can come
For
back.
how long?
With the better stuff. For an hour.
For an hour?
All right.
All right, you're going to go speak Spanish and barter, and I'm going to go be a clown.
Struggle.
All right.
See you in an hour.
Good luck. Initially, I was a little worried about that, but because Barbara speaks Spanish so beautifully, and I don't speak Spanish at all. There's too many things here. An hour is not possibly enough.
Now, I naturally thought I was going to win because I'm a better shopper. I'm most likely a better barterer. And boy, was I wrong. I walked into the craft section of the market, and I got dizzy. Purses, shoes, necklaces, blankets, beans, onions, vegetables, sweaters, everything, you name it. How does a person make a decision? Oh, Pierce, I bet he's beating me right now. I bet he's getting all kinds of good stuff.
Pretty good, huh? Yeah. ¿Habla inglés? No. Just Puebla. When I haggled with the Andean pipe flute man, I think I haggled in Spanish.
10,000.
My Spanish goes in and out, and I'm still trying to learn numbers. So if I struggle with the language, then I just start going. All right, so that's 4,500. Well, that means I get 5,500 back, and I'm still ahead of the game. So when I was done with him, I picked up my Andean pipe flutes and walked along my merry way. And then I saw the most amazing thing.
Hola, I'm Pierce, doggy dog.
You know, the Spanish word for dog is perro. And I saw this crazy perro loco. 80. She went down 5. My heart was pattering in my chest, and I was going, ooh, I'm haggling. And I think I was doing the hand thing with her. 60.
Último precio, 75, 75.
75. That's 75, right? Siete. Siete. Right now, I'll pay you for it. I wear my mask and bark all the way home.
75.
75.
Yeah, 75. 75. No. And I turned around and walked away. And she went, Senor. 70? Okay, deal. You got a deal. Hey, gracias. Pretty good, huh? Yeah. Gracias.
All right, I've wasted almost all of my time walking around, and I have not made a decision. I'm supposed to meet Pierce in a little bit, and I still haven't bought a thing. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't make a decision. Oh, I was a mess. Representa algo. She says she likes this one best because it represents something. It represents her culture. Bueno, me llevo este. Finally, I settled on these watercolor paintings made by these local Indian artists. Gracias. Adios.
I had my flute, I had my dog mask, and I could walk with pride with those things. But I really wanted a shirt. 18, okay, that's, all right, if 10's $3, 18's $5, that's a good deal. $5 for a shirt? Yeah, okay. Okay, see. It turned out to cost me more than I had told Barbara about. I had a little secret stash in my left-hand pocket that I knew about. This is an ethical question. Should I lie? Yeah, I'll lie to her and I'll buy her something and she won't know. 4,000. 5,000, okay. It looked a lot better than it cost. So I said, yeah, give me one of those. This is after looking for a while, and I got it, and then I headed back to the egg booth to meet Barbara.
Okay, pressure. I have to meet Pierce in 5 minutes, and I have not picked anything else up. I still have 30,000 to spend. And with 30,000, you can buy so much stuff. Ah, necklaces, there they are. I finally picked the necklace that I want, and he tells me that it's 40,000 suques. These are typical or indigenous necklaces, and supposedly the more rings around your neck, the more money you have. I had 1,000 sucres left, and I thought, I'll buy him some onions. Está bien. Onions that way.
Come on, Barbara, where are you?
Hey.
Hola, señorita.
What do you have there?
My new personality.
I love it.
You like it?
I do.
It just barked at me when I walked past it. I had to have it.
How much did you spend on this?
And then she gave me a present. A bag of onions. Onions?
Yes.
That's because you were late? Because you cheated me?
I didn't have that much money left, and it's the only thing I could afford.
Why onions? Why did Barbara give me onions? I don't know why. And I have to confess something to you. I spent too much. I had more money stashed, and I spent about 20,000 extra.
Peter?
But I got your present to make up for it. It's almost as nice as the onions you gave me. Maybe it'll go with your necklace.
Oh, I love it.
It's a bracelet.
I was looking at some like that.
You were?
Thank you so much.
Hold on.
Thank you. Oh, Pierce.
There you go.
I feel guilty.
Good. And that was our time in the marketplace. I managed to get by speaking almost no Spanish, acting like a lunatic, and deceiving a good friend of mine. But hey, all is fair when it comes time to shop.
I think they're fishing, and I think I might want to go fishing. It's like these marshlands, and they're not necessarily stable.
Next, welcome to the future. Be amazed by new technology, gadgets, and things beyond your imagination. Beyond 2000. Coming up next on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
St. Martin, two countries in one. Twice the vacation and twice the fun. A dash of Dutch, a touch of French too. A Caribbean cocktail mix for you. It's the friendliest island under the sun. St. Martin, such a beautiful island. Yeah, you should be seeing St. Martin, a little European, a lots of Caribbean.
Had a real tough early season there. They weren't able to finish the races. Just nothing seemed to work.
We'll win next time. Don't worry about it.
Finally, I came up with this.
You all know what this is. Each one of you guys has got a battery inside, just like he does. Just like it.
We just think of the bunny and we keep going.
That's cool.
I'm not a great coach. I'm no miracle worker. But yet something inside them has got to keep them going.
We look at the broad strokes. We see the fine line. We explore relationships. The New York Times. Every day we reveal a world of discovery that others miss. Like the mess within so many of our institutions. The New York Times.
Well, Pierce and Barbara at the market, I stayed here at the hotel, and I'd seen these guys over by the lake on these reed rafts. I think they're fishing, and I think I might want to go fishing. Hold on. Hola, ¿cómo están?
Hola.
Robin.
Antonio.
Antonio, mucho gusto. Juan. Mucho gusto. Hola, ¿cómo se llama usted? Juan. También.
Sí.
Okay, his name is Antonio, this is Juan and Juan. ¿Y qué están haciendo?
Pescando.
They're fishing. ¿Puedo pescar?
Sí.
All right, I can fish too. ¿Pescamos entonces?
Sí.
Juan got off his little reed boat and let me go on it, and the other Juan got out of his boat, and Antonio got on it. He plans on rowing with a hoe. Look at this. Stand me this. This is his oar. I learned that every day these guys, Antonio, Juan, and Juan, they go out and they fish for black bass, and they basically survive on them. This is a really old way of fishing. They don't even have a rod. They just take this line and they throw it out to the water and reel it in by hand. And they've got these boats made of reed, and they've bunched them together and tied them together, and this is what they fish off of. They don't even have paddles. They use sticks or a hoe or whatever they've got around. I mean, the wind was really blowing, so the waves were really picking up, and this little boat was being just blown everywhere. And I'm trying to row with this thing, but the wood was about that thin. You can't really make any headway. We finally made it over to this area where I guess that they fish, and it's like these marshlands, and they're not necessarily stable. Like, you land and you can step on them, but slowly but surely they sink, and some sink faster than others. Okay. Maybe now is when I should say I really had a hard time understanding Antonio, because he was speaking Quechua half the time, and when he wasn't, I really didn't understand what he was saying anyway, because my Spanish, I don't know. The accent maybe. But He was laughing a lot of the time, and what I did understand was no vale. When he said no vale, that means it doesn't work. Because he was like, why don't you stand on that little marsh over there? So I stood on it, and he's like, oh, that doesn't work. I'm going to see if it's close or not. Oh, we're going down, Antonio. We're going down. Oh, oh, can we get the fish at the market? I'm trying. Okay.
No vale.
He's like, that one doesn't work. And we decided to stand on the reed boat. That was the thing that was staying above water the best. It's just Antonio, venga. Okay.
Yo. Ahora, ¿quieres pescar?
Let's know if I want to fish.
Ahorita no hay pescado aquí.
He said, right now there are no fish. But there's certainly some surfing going on. Okay, it's in the water. Ahora qué?
Dejas ahí.
I said now what? He said leave it there. He's like, it's not working. I'm going down. I'm sinking. Don't let me sink alone. No vale, no vale. That's the thing. That was basically the theme. Not gonna work. This is how he fishes every day, but probably with a little more luck than we're having right now. And?
No vale mucho viento.
He's like, it's not working, there's too much wind. So finally, I got off the raft, and I tried to hold it close to the area where the marshes were. I'm falling into a sponge. So I put one foot on the marsh and one foot on the boat. And slowly but surely, the two of them started to separate. It's not working, Antonio. Wait. Oh, no, wait. Fishing line. I got the fishing line. It's not working. I'm going to go buy some fish. I've had it up to here. These aren't professional matadors. The bulls didn't really seem like they wanted to play, and people would just jump into the ring with this bull if they felt like it. So I kind of felt like, well, whatever they got, they kind of deserved, you know? Nelson. Hi, how are you? How you doing?
Hey, man. Hi, Pierce.
How are you?
This is a friend of ours.
This is Barbara.
Hi, Barbara. Nice meeting you. Pierce and Robin met Nelson the night of the festival opening, and he invited them to Los Toros Populares, or the popular bulls, which is a big event during the festival.
Nelson, where should we sit? Pick a place?
Well, right here. Do we have a good view from here?
I did not expect to see what I saw. Basically, it was this makeshift bull ring made of it seemed like they were a bunch of scraps of wood, and they were stands.
I've been to other bull rings, but this one had more character than any bull ring I'd seen.
They just fenced in this bull, and people would just jump into the ring with this bull if they felt like it. There's no place to hide in that ring.
No, I just run away and be distracted.
And hope he doesn't catch you. These aren't professional matadors. These are people that just want to go in there and give it a whirl for themselves.
It was raining, so there weren't many people out. And the bulls didn't really seem like they wanted to play either. It was pretty boring. And since there wasn't a whole lot going on in the bull ring, Robin and Pierce and I started to make our own entertainment. Woo!
All right. And we did it a couple times, and then we noticed that the family across the ring started doing it back at us. And they go, uno más tiempo, one more time.
1, 2, 3.
Finally, after the rain delay, they brought in another bull, and they had these clowns.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! Whoa!
I think this
Whoa!
I think this is a troublemaker bull.
Yeah, it is. Seems like it's a good bull.
They were pulling on the bull's tail, and the bull would drag it and then go around in circles, and they were provoking the bull. And I'm thinking, oh my God, these people are gonna get hurt. It was just their wits against the fierceness and the ferocity of the bull, and they were provoking it. So I kind of felt like, well, whatever they got, they kind of deserved, you know?
The man dressed as the Indian woman told us that he wasn't afraid.
Aren't you scared being out there with that crazy bull?
That he does this all the time and that he's not afraid and that, you know, I don't know, I guess he's a real macho man, you know.
He's got him by the horn! He's got the bull by the horn! He got on the back of the bull, and there was a knot wrapped around the waist. They held onto it, and as it bucked and broncoed across the whole ring.
Came off.
Beat it back.
Here we go.
And off she came.
Oh, she got it.
So we'd had about enough action. It was exciting, but it was also uncomfortable and kind of depressing and shocking and funny at the same time. It was this real balance of all those elements.
And so whatever the people got from the bull, I thought was fair. I thought that was justice.
La Fuente
De la Salud.
de la Salud.
The fountain of health.
It's like the fountain of mud.
Pierce, Barbara, and I, we all went to the Fuente de la Salud with Hernan and Elena. They told us that there are these fountains or pools where you could sit in them, and they were healthy.
Dolores del cuerpo, sobre todo. Reumas, golpes.
He says it's got sulfur and iron and all other kinds of minerals, and people come here to take care of their health when they have arthritis and other ailments. They come here to bathe. I expected to find some swimming holes or some just watering holes with natural water pouring out. And what we found were man-made pools that were full of yellow, brownish water.
Is it good for chapped lips?
¿Es bueno para los labios pelados?
También.
Sulfur can give water the color, a yellowish, rustish color. And it looks kind of like a river after a mudslide.
Oh, it's not deep at all.
Hey, I'll do that.
We sat in the water and asked Herman about the Quechua people and about the springs.
Are there any stories about how this water has healed people, or stories that go along with this?
¿Sabes alguna historia de las fuentes de agua termal?
Y pueden ser también aguas y personas.
He basically said that the water truly does have medicinal qualities. It's got a lot of minerals, and it's got sulfur, and it's got iron, and just a dip in the water can do wonders for you. And it also does wonders for your soul.
Específicamente de aquí no sé, pero siempre cualquier fenómeno natural tiene su explicación personificada.
As soon as he started talking about this, all three of us just became so interested. And that's that the Quechua people have a very close connection to the land and all of the elements. The wind, the sky, the water, the mountains, the trees, the rocks, everything.
Los elementos naturales en el mundo indígena
tienen vida.
Tienen vida.
Yeah. All natural elements in the indigenous world, in the Indian world, have a life.
And the Quechua Indians believe that every natural phenomena has a character of its own. A mountain, the wind, the fire, water, the trees, the grass, the soil. They're all embodiments of a spirit. And also that when you die, your soul goes into one of these things. It's almost like reincarnation, except you become a part of the elements around you.
Dos elementos son personas también. Tienen vida, tienen hijos, tienen esposos, tienen toda la historia.
They have children, they have husbands and wives, and they have history. It finally came together for me that this cycle of life, no wonder it's being celebrated with something like corn, which is their main staple here, and which has kept the people around here for thousands of years. Coating her, greasy coating over it, because that's the minerals that are coating your skin.
So it came time for Barbara to pass the chicha acid test.
You can survive on this for 1 week with nothing else, just chicha. It's a way of saying we're one and the same, we're equal. So this is the official chicha de amor.
Yes, it is.
After 2 days of fermenting, Barbara's chicha de amor was ready for the taste test. After gathering the brew from Elena's house, she, Pierce, and Robin proceeded to a chicha party.
Herman was waiting for us when we walked in the door, and there was this wonderful band playing, this Andean band, and there are a bunch of people, I guess neighborhood people from that community, sitting around at tables, having drinks and listening to the band. And it was just a quiet gathering, and a really nice way to end our time in Otavalo. So it came time for Barbara to pass the chicha acid test.
We're going to go start handing out our chicha.
So our custom is to give in this bowl, vegetables.
So everyone drinks out of the gourd?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So first we have to start.
Oh, we start?
Yes.
Okay.
I give it to you.
And what happens when I drink? Just drink
Just
and...
a little. Yeah,
Okay.
so that doesn't have anything.
It's good chicha. Good chicha. ¿Y ahora ti?
Salud.
Salud.
I took the bowl, walked around from person to person, and with a gourd, a dried gourd, gave chicha to each person to drink. Salud. One person drinks at a time. And basically that person will toast and drink. And sometimes they'll spill a little bit out on the ground in honor of Mother Earth. Herman explained that it's a way of having a moment, one-on-one, with another person. Herman, it's a way of communicating. It's a way of of interacting. It's a way of saying we're one and the same. We're equal. And just having a special moment with that person. Dime lo que crees. Herman says it has body. And when someone comes to your party and you invite them to drink chicha, it means so much more.
Está rica.
Herman says that You can survive on this for 1 week with nothing else, just chicha. You go around with this bowl from person to person until the whole bowl is empty, and that's the custom. So if you go around 20 times in the night, this is what you do the whole night. So Elena and I went around until all of the chicha was gone. And I felt pretty good because they all liked it. Everyone's telling me my chicha is very good. Senor?
You know, you have the whole festival wrapped up in the product, you know, and again, the whole cyclical nature of things, you know. It goes from the ground right into the chicha, you know, and then back into the ground again.
One of the many things I learned from Germán and Elena this week was that volcano back there, Papa Imbabuda, is a wise old man. And if you ever need advice of any sort, look up to the volcano and he'll give it to you.
You know, I thought it was interesting when Hernan was talking to us at the Natural Springs about the cycle of life, and that really pulled it together for me for the Festival de Amor, and how they plant and they sow and they reap the corn, and they celebrate that whole cycle, and then they're celebrating the new cycle that's coming.
I found myself, I know it's going to sound strange because I don't speak Spanish, but I found myself all week hanging on every word Germán said, or Elena, or anybody else for that matter. Maybe that's because they're so in tune with all this, but I was just remembering how this whole fiesta started. It was so noisy. There was a cacophony of color and cheering people and floats and people hanging from trees. It was madness. And ever since then, it's just been silence, silence, yeah.
I know this sounds corny, you guys, but this is a really spiritual place, isn't it?
Corny?
Oh. It's true. Like, look at that mountain. That was bad, Barbara. So that was bad.
You don't even realize you said that.
That's all the time we have for now. We'll see you next time on Travelers.
So long.
Bye-bye.